Hey everyone, welcome to the SuperSelf Podcast series brought to you by Jaca Rare Sugar. As you know, during this series we discuss everything that is health and well-being. And there's really so many definitions for health and well-being. There's nutrition, there's fitness, there's performance. Performance not just potentially on a court or on a field, but performance in our daily lives. Whether we've got children, we've got colleagues, we've got friends, we've got to operate day to day in optimal fashion, and naturally good health makes that easier. So today, I am super excited to have with us two high-performing Division I athletes in the sport of tennis. So Kida and Megan, how you doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm so happy to have you here. So Kida is my daughter. Meg is like my daughter. Kida and Megan are best friends, teammates, nationally ranked doubles team in Division I tennis. They're both scholar athletes, have 3.9 plus GPAs. So super excited to speak with them today about their nutritional habits as it relates to peak performance. And I think we're going to glean a lot of insight as it relates. So with your permission, ladies, we'll just jump right in.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, let's talk about daily nutrition. What does daily nutrition on a general level look like for you guys?
I can go first, I guess. Yeah. Daily nutrition is all about consistency. I mean, balanced diets, balanced demands. Obviously, we're burning a lot of calories of it for. I have a root, which I bet a lot of people do now, since it's a growing pain, sleep, everything. And when I play a match, I'm burning over 3,000 calories per match in literally 3 hours or 4 hours. So obviously 3,000 calories is a lot to burn. So I need to make sure that I'm balanced and consistent in my planning and my diets. So I try to go for the three main food groups. So a protein, a carb, and a veggie or fruit in every single one of my meals to kind of get that consistent and healthy balance within my diet to perform at the peak level that I can. But obviously 3,000 calories is a lot to burn in one day on top of all of the other things I'm doing. Just walking around burns calories, talking burns calories, everything does. So there's got to be a lot of snacking involved as well. But I'm not subconsciously grabbing healthy foods. Is more of a discipline to be like, I need to grab an apple or some nuts or avocado toast instead of me grabbing a bag of chips or Takis that I really love, or a pint of ice cream. All of those have like a lot of calories in it, but not great calories. So it's all about that balance with a lot of, complex carbs, complex proteins, things like that, getting some supplements in there and just trying to be as healthy as I can.
Sure. Meg?
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. In the fall, I really honed in on this, and I've really met with my nutritionist here, and it was interesting. I was getting my 3 meals a day, and she was like, "You're under eating. You're not eating enough protein. You're not eating enough." And it's like, I do the same exact thing. I have my carb, I have my protein, and then I love fruit. So I'm such a fruit girl. I'm gonna go for fruit, but it's like fruits and vegetables. It's so important to get that into your diet. My nutrition is like, you've lost muscle mass. I'm like, how is that possible? Like, how is it possible? Like, I feel like I'm overeating. And she's like, no, you're under eating. And as athletes, I don't think we realize how many calories we burn, especially as tennis players. Like, tennis players, we're always on the go. Like Kita said, we're walking to class, we're doing this, and it's like, we're being so explosive. We're out on the court for 3 hours a day, doing whatever. And it's just I didn't feel hungry, but it's there. I've really been able to, over this entire year, is really hone in healthy snacks. I know Kita touched on this a little bit, but always having the healthy carb that I can go to, or during a match, I always have bananas with me, and that's a really big source of getting sugar, and it's gonna boost your sugar right away. But
I know, Kida, at one point, I think you used the Jaca Jolt on court when you were dogging it in between sets.
Yeah, I did. And obviously the Jaca Jolt's 50 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, right around there. Yep.
So yeah, if we had a late match, we played some matches at 5 and 6 p.m. And at that point, I want to get in bed. Which I don't want to be in bed for. I had a coffee before, but I'm still crashing because this is my bedtime and I want to be reading. So yeah, I would take a Jaca Jolt on to the court and I would have it in my bag. And if I was kind of feeling sluggish or anything, I would take half of a Jaca Jolt, so about, 20, 25 milligrams of caffeine, and instantly it would wake me up because it absorbs so quickly. It's kind of like a candy thing as well. It's a liquid, obviously, so it absorbs very quickly, and I'm probably already dehydrated from playing a massive tennis. So it absorbs into me so fast, and I just get that rush, and it's perfect because I can take half of it after the first set. And then if I haven't split sets, which was a very big trend for me over the past year of splitting sets, like 16 out of 25 matches, I was unwell. I would take half of it after the first set, and then I would take half of it, the rest of it, after the second set, and I'd be perfect for the whole 3-set match, which is kind of crazy because I've had Red Bulls before, I've had Monsters, I've had 5-hour energies, anything to keep me up, especially for exams, and they make me feel like I only drink Red Bull because I need the energy, like that coffee cannot give me, but I feel like crap, and the fact that I can take a Jaca Jolt on Ort and still perform at my peak and my highest is honestly insane, and that's why I always shift them.
Yeah, that's a big difference between the Jolt and all the other drinks. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but just comparatively speaking, the Red Bulls of the world have the equivalent of like 6 or 7 cups of coffee. That's a ton of caffeine or whatever chemical they're using, ephedrine or whatever. The Jolt's only got the equivalent of 1 cup of coffee. So because it's got the natural sugar in it, allulose, that doesn't compromise the physiology of a human being, you burn it, it dissipates in the large intestine, doesn't hit the gut, doesn't cause weight gain. Because it's surrounded by that healthy sugar, you can drink 3 of them. You can stage it. You don't have to drink 1 Red Bull and bam, you got 5 cups of coffee. You can drink a half a Jolt, half a cup of coffee. Drink the other one, drink another one, and stage it without having it burn you up and corrode your insides. So I think you're right. And it's interesting that you say that it comes into foray when you're splitting sets, because while you're drinking a Jaca Jolt during these 3-set homicidal matches, I'm drinking a gallon of wine because it's impossible and so stressful to be watching. It's so much harder to watch than it is for you to play. I guarantee it. I just go over to Meg's court. So I click off the camera and I go watch Meg because she's just firing through somebody, ripping them apart, and it just gives me peace. Right, Meg?
Yeah. And you're like, oh, good, I like this.
I find my zen, and then I go back to the grind. It's a beautiful thing. Now, so what I'm hearing from you both, though, and this is interesting, you do not forego the snacking. A lot of people say, don't snack. Snacking's the root of all evil. You can't be snacking all day. But I personally agree with you that snacking is important because it keeps you from overeating later. So it's not the snacking per se, it's the type of snack. One of you said banana. One of you said, I'm a fruit queen, right? And so if you've got the right kind of snack with you and you're eating consistently, all that's going to do is keep your metabolism even. So you're not jolting your metabolism, and it's running that much more efficiently, and it's burning through the food, so it's less likely to assimilate as fat on the body. So I think if you agree, I think that's super important.
I completely agree too. And like, I think I've noticed this within myself. And like, you get later into the day and it's like, you don't want to eat past the 8 p.m. like barely, because it's like that's your time of like unwinding. That's your time of like your body shutting down. Your body's not digesting. You wake up the next day and you were gonna feel like awful because you're hungry at night because you haven't been getting your nutrients throughout the day, and you crash, and then you wake up the next morning, you're like, I literally feel fat. And it's like, why do you feel fat? Because you ate at 10 p.m. at night because you hadn't eaten at all. And it's unbelievable.
It's a ruthless cycle. I mean, and it perpetuates because then it turns into a habit. And so now all of a sudden if you're not sleeping well, then all of a sudden that turns into a pattern. If you're not eating well, that turns into a pattern. And so I think that segues into the next question logically, is the discipline component of it. How do you guys are going, now, obviously, let's not minimize the life faced by folks who have a family, maybe a single mom or a single dad chasing around 2 children, getting them off to school, have 1 job, maybe 2 jobs. Let's put that in proper perspective, the daunting nature of it, the crippling nature of it in some instances. You guys, however, are still running pretty ragged. You'll have 2 exams in a day. You've got to get up, then you've got to race to the airport. You fly from Illinois to California. You've got to then practice when you get to California after the 2-hour time zone change, and then play the next day. It's still busy, and comparatively speaking, it still requires discipline so that you can maintain the healthy habits. So talk a little bit about that, if you would.
For me, like, everything in your life is based on building a healthy habit. Like, I actually took this class once. It was like behavior change. It was looking at like, how do we change like our healthy behaviors, and how do we like incorporate this like into our life? And it's like, people want to see results fast. You're not going to see results fast, whatever. And like, that's the one thing that people need to understand is results don't happen fast. There's 6 stages of a behavior change, and you start in the pre-contemplation phase, and that starts with yourself. That starts with internal, and you go through these phases, and it ends up at like a maintenance phase. It takes 6 months to get there.
Interesting.
And people need to realize it takes 6 months to get there, and, like, that comes with, like, a lot of consistency, and, like, over time, like, it's gonna become a habit. The first few months, it's like you need to meal prep. You need to, like, understand yourself. You need to understand, like, what you like to eat, because you need to do it for yourself, and you need to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then it's going to feel like a chore. Nobody wants to do a chore.
Right.
And that's when people start to fall into this, what we call relapse phase. And that's when people start to just, I'm just going to have a chip because they did meal prep or they didn't think about this. But it's like, if you have goals, you write your goals down and you go through this, then eventually, like, it just becomes a healthy habit and you don't even think about it. I was literally telling Kida this morning, I don't even think about what I eat anymore.
Right.
It's just, I just do it.
Just do it instinctively.
Yes. And I think if people are able to find what they enjoy, what they love, and then they're able to plan it out, healthy eating is very possible.
It's very possible.
It's different for everyone.
You know, that's you. Now, you're an interdisciplinary health major. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what you're speaking about with the 6 phases, that's just core competency for you at this point. You do it instinctively, especially as an athlete, you kind of have to. But I'm sure that's all being galvanized within the text and the volumes of readings that you've had and the classwork that you've had. So I think it's not always important, but it translates, right? Because you're talking about habits, and you're talking about patterns, but really that's just a lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want to lead? And we make conscious decisions every day. I fail, right? Some days I'm in a wicked rush and I haven't even thought ahead a little bit and I'm leaning towards McDonald's because it's super, super quick, super, super satisfying, and I'm on my way. But the repercussions from that hits me every time. You know, I can feel it in my joints, the inflammation. You eat these kinds of ultra processed foods that are not healthy and you don't realize that naturally there's, you know, my belly's full because I just ate a Big Mac. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the inflammation in your mind and the inflammation in your joints that is impacted by these foods, and basically a general discomfort that may last for days, especially with sugar, right? You've got sugar is got the capacity to shorten telomere length. Telomere length is responsible for aging. So you think about a study that was done, it literally said excessive sugar usage can accelerate the aging process. Imagine what it's doing day to day, not just the long term when you're ingesting it, and it's present in 80% of foods and beverages. So you're getting it whether you like it or not. So I think you bring up amazing points, Meg. It's the just thinking ahead a little bit component. What am I faced with today, right? I got to chase the kids around. This one's got soccer after school. I got to go from job 1 to job 2. Then I got to drop them off at their dad's house or their mom's house. Just a little bit of forethought about what you're faced with, and you can account for that so you don't go to McDonald's like I do, or you don't grab a chip like Kida does. You stick something in your bag, and then you're ready, you're prepared. And that's really, it becomes a lifestyle, just 5 seconds of forethought in the beginning of the day. What do I stick in my briefcase, or what do I stick in my purse? And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's a lifestyle. And as you said, Meg, it's instinctive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's important to understand that it's within anybody's grasp. And also to your point, it takes a minute. That's why I have huge contention with these false prophets out there. You know, eat moringa and you're going to sleep 10 hours a night, and eat magnesium and just all these crappy supplements that give you false hope. All that does is bleed frustration, because it takes time to do anything properly. Building a lifestyle takes months, up to 6 months, as you said. And so because of the propaganda out there, we've been desensitized to a pathway. It's just gimme, 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 now, now, now. And I think that's the one thing I'm hoping through this series is that people find a pathway back to their instincts. We've been instinctive since the dawn of time. It's instinct, not Caltech, that created fire and the wheel. It was instinct. I'm super cold. I need to fix that, right? There was no Caltech back. And so what we've gotten away from that, you know, if you think about it, what's right and what's wrong, not just from a nutritional standpoint, but from a sleep standpoint, from the way you conduct yourself. But there's so many messages coming in from all angles that can justify anything and everything we're doing at any given moment. It's just easy to just roll on. And so I hope through this series, people start to really think about, okay, what makes sense to me and what does not make sense to me? I've heard this from a supposed expert. Now let me go ahead and research it. Let me triangulate the data. Let me see if what that person's saying makes sense to me. And you're spot on, Meg. You said you've got to have a diet that you want to execute upon, right? I hate broccoli. If somebody put me on a broccoli diet, I'm not only not gonna do it, I'm gonna gain weight because I'm gonna overeat as soon as I've starved myself from not eating broccoli. You gotta play to your strengths. And once you do that, you really, the world is your oyster.
Yeah, I think also, like, to touch on that point too, like, you need to reward yourself in some capacity. Like, you can't, like, I love ice cream. I'm never gonna get rid of ice cream in my diet. Like, it's just not gonna happen. But, like, you need to have, like, we're not gonna have ice cream every single day. We can have ice cream, like, maybe once a week, like, just on our tennis bench, well, let's go get some ice cream, like, but it's, like, knowing that also about yourself too. It's just, like, you don't wanna compromise yourself of what you love and not getting rid of ice cream, not happening.
Love it. I love it. To your point, you position it as more of a reward instead of a staple in your diet, right? So Friday, if I play well, even if I play like shit, I'm having ice cream on Friday after the matches are done. And now it's a reward from a week hard fought. Either way, no matter how it ends up. And then you wait till the next week or the next reward. And that's really a great way to compartmentalize it because you can't deprive yourself or else all you're going to do is blow it out on the other end with the overeating and the overcompensating in the wrong direction. I've done it a million times myself. I mean, when I was powerlifting, I got to make a weight. So I walked around at 165, but I competed under 148. So I had to lose 12, 13 pounds in order to be at the top of the weight division. And one thing that I knew was that as soon as that competition was over, I was going to go eat until I couldn't eat anymore. And I never knew what I was craving. The interesting thing about that was, you're making the weight and you're training. I never knew what I was going to crave. I finished one competition and I would crave starchy carbs, pizza, pasta, bread. So that was the move. I'd go get a loaf of bread and cover it with butter and eat the whole loaf. I'd make 3 pounds of pasta, eat it all. And then the next competition, it wouldn't be that. It would be fast food. So I remember one competition, I literally went from the competition to McDonald's drive-through, got a meal, ate the meal on the way to Burger King, got a Burger King meal, ate the Burger King meal on the way to Wendy's, ate a Wendy's meal. It was at this time, it was so good, but think about it now, it's awful. But the point of it is the one time that I had sugar cravings, I don't have a big sweet tooth. The one time that I had sugar cravings, I got out of that competition, I ate cakes, pies, pastry, chocolate, all the good stuff. It took me 3 times longer to lose that weight for the next competition than all of the other times and all of the other types of food. The sugar weight, I actually missed my next show, my next competition, because I couldn't make weight. All the other times, I was able to shut it off, dial it back in, lose the weight, compete. The sugar, 3 times longer, had to miss a show, couldn't get rid of it. And so, it goes back to discipline within the diet. And I know for an athlete, it's great, but we have to be obviously extra vigilant in it is that we are eating, it is in what we're considering and how we're processing day to day. Do you have any tips for what that regular person might do, how they can distract themselves from falling into the usual traps when they're seeing commercials and TikToks with all these foods and beverages and all this bad stuff that they're faced with?
Actually, obviously, we're all on social media a lot. We're just always on social media. We're seeing like all these videos, and occasionally a food Instagram comes up. I get foods from restaurants. I get people making food at home. I get a ton of food TikToks just in general. But there are a couple that stand out to me where they kind of name it like a healthy balanced meal. And they actually are pretty good. I've made some of them at home. It just depends on which ones you want to get drawn into. So I've made a pasta. I had a pasta with chicken and tomatoes and just a bunch of regular like one ingredient foods. No cheese, no new butter, no nothing like that. Literally just chicken, tomatoes, and pasta. And then use the pasta water to make like the salt. So overall, it was very, very healthy. And it kind of just depends on what people gravitate towards. Obviously, easy to go on Instagram and be like, wow, that looks really good. I want to make that. But it's like 100 grams of fat. But once the algorithm kicks in, once you start liking healthy food TikToks with these 1 ingredient, like 3 ingredient meals, then more and more comes up. And I've gotten sucked into that. And I've actually saved a lot in my Instagram that I want to make at home because it's literally just 5 ingredients and that's it. There's your meal and you can meal prep those. But honestly, I don't even meal prep per se. I more so go to the store. I know what I like Meg said. I know what I like. I know what I gravitate towards. I go for steak, chicken. I'm a big salmon fan. I'll make it in the air fryer. I'll pan sear it. There's just so many ways to make these things that I feel like that's kind of the stigma that people don't realize is that you get home and you're like, oh, I need food. But I have to cook this food for 40 minutes. And now I have to wait 40 minutes to eat, but I'm starving now. So I should just get DoorDash or go to McDonald's down the street and it'll take literally 10 minutes. I
100%.
can eat it right away.
100%.
But realistically, there are so many ways to cook now. Turn on the oven when you get home, throw it in, take a shower, your food's done. Throw it in the air fryer, take a shower, your food's done. Go to the gym even, let it cook for an hour. Go to the gym and just you'll have it when it's ready and it's perfect. And it's not even meal prepping per se. But there are ways to make these things enjoyable. Like I had Meg and Ariel over. Ariel's one of our other teammates. I had them over. Meg was packing upstairs, so she was super busy, and Ariel was doing, I don't even know what way, to be honest.
Smiling. Whatever she was doing, she was smiling because that kid.
She was probably smiling.
She's never
and
not
most of the night
smiling.
on her phone. Yeah, pretty light. But I made them steak, mashed potatoes, and green peas, and the mashed potatoes only had milk in it. Literally, like maybe a teaspoon of butter, a tablespoon of butter. That. So overall, very healthy meal, and it's just fun. Like you need to know that cooking is fun, and you can make healthy foods fun and enjoyable just as much as unhealthy foods. Like if you go out to a restaurant or get McDonald's. So it's just about finding that passion, kind of like Meg said. And even then, Meg, it's so funny because you were like, I love ice cream. And I feel like you don't even realize this, but you use your Ninja Creamy all the time, which is like an ice cream maker. So put a Core Power in there, which is a protein shake. But throw a Core Power in there. Yet, like 3 nights ago, she made, if she go to Core Power in there, chocolate Core Power, I think.
With my strawberries.
Yeah, the chocolate. Yum. Put strawberry ice cream that's literally a protein shake as the base.
Yeah, it was just that and strawberries. Put it in, freeze it for 24 hours, and then like blend it up. Put it in the next day, blend it up, put a teeny tiny bit of milk in it to like whatever. Great.
That's healthy. That's actually That's
Yeah.
frozen treat. Really good. Actually good for you, not ice cream.
Yeah, it had the consistency of ice cream. So it's kind of funny that she said she loved ice cream. It's like she didn't even realize that she was making a healthier alternative just because she's made this healthy habit.
That's super cool. And I know also, Meg, you're the queen of the Ninja juicer too. What kind of juicer do you have? I mean, you're the queen of that thing. I was just there for graduation and you had vials of this stuff just everywhere, like in mason jars. Some of it looked like moonshine. I don't know what you're cooking over there, lady, but tell what's going on.
Oh, it's great. I can't tell you the brand of it, but like, oh my God, it's unreal. Made like a green juice the other day, and like the only thing that was in it was like apples, celery. It was supposed to be cucumber. The model zucchini thinking it was a cucumber, and I was like, this is a really weird like cucumber shoot, but the zucchini. Okay, look, gotta get my greens somehow. They're so unreal. It's awesome. So put some lemon in there and like blended it up, like fantastic. It was unbelievable, and it's just like ways like that. It's like that maybe took me 15 minutes of my day to cut up all the stuff and then juice it, put it in, and all of a sudden I have green juice per day instead of going to the store. And I know it's like, oh well, it's so expensive. I just think green juice for maybe less than $10, and I have it for the next 2 weeks.
Yep. And what you're making doesn't have all of the shit in it that the stuff in the store does. The juice in the store, the naked stuff in the store is not naked. It's fully clothed with crap. It's got tons of sugar in it. And if it doesn't have sugar in it, it's got sucralose or aspartame or erythritol, all these other carcinogenic sweeteners. It's got all these preservatives in it so it can sit on the shelf for a year before anybody buys it. And so that's really what we're trying to get away from is all of that ultra processed stuff that wreaks havoc on our systems. And you're talking about, I didn't realize, so when you were talking about 15 minutes of your day, I thought you were just talking about one serving. You're talking about 15 minutes and you got juice like for 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, like I think we also made ginger shots the other day too. Like, and it's like, I think that thing sat in our fridge maybe over 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah. And we're drinking it every day. And then I had to bring juice. I had like maybe 3 or 4 cups of hers and she still had plenty to go around.
She's just like feeding it for like family of 4.
Then that's, and so it goes back to, and then we'll get into the last question and finish up, but it goes back to what you're suggesting is really a lot of home cooking. And it used to be that the home cooking was super complicated. Mom would start at 7 a.m. in order to serve dinner at 2 p.m. That doesn't happen anymore. You can do this TikTok 1 ingredient recipe. And I learned that when I had to take over being mom and dad with you. you were a super athlete even back then. You couldn't be lean cuisine meals and pizza. You needed all of the healthy foods to contribute to your athletic journey, your athletic dream. So I had to learn how to cook. And I was not going to be able to learn how to cook 8, 9, 10 ingredients where I had to partially cook some things, cook others, then blend, then sit, then wait. One ingredient TikTok recipes saved me from being able to cook for you properly. So I think that's a big point, is the concept and the aura around cooking at home has completely changed. It's not this big mom or dad is in the kitchen with an apron on for 15 hours sweating. It's just not that. And so I think once people start to understand that, the information will find you whereby you can start to employ those habits that will serve you so well. Yeah, good stuff. Last question, ladies. You've got an incredible support system around you because you've got a team, right? You guys are a top 25 team. Most of you are nationally ranked. You're all academic scholars, except for that one transfer. I don't remember her name. We won't talk about her. Tell me about the role, and you probably could speak to this a lot, Meg, because of your health major, the role of a support system in finding that lifestyle and sticking to that lifestyle of good health and well-being and staying in peak shape.
It's unbelievable. The people you surround yourself with, and I learned about this in so many of my classes. Who you surround yourself with is who you become. Like, if you're gonna surround yourself with people that don't like school, want to go out, want to party, want to do this, want to go get involved in drugs and let's go rob the bank, you're gonna go end up robbing a bank as much as your mom and dad tell you that robbing the bank is wrong. That's what you're gonna do. And same thing goes for health. If you surround yourself with people that have the same goals as you, have the same, we need to eat healthy. I think me and Kida, we both bounce off of each other with this. It's we both strive to be healthy people in life. And I think we both are performing athletes, high performing athletes. We know what we need. And it's without even telling each other, it's just because I see her eat that, I'm going to eat that too, it's I see Kasha, she's eating nuts. Oh, not all of a sudden I'm creating nuts. All right. I like nuts, but it's it just goes to show who you surround yourself with truly is who you become and what you like and what you want to do and who you aspire to be. And it goes for health as well. If you don't surround yourself with those type of people, forget it. It's so hard to do it so internally that you need a support system. And also with my dad too. My dad is super into being so healthy and stuff like that. And he's always sending me new recipes, sending me workouts, sending me all of these things. And he's he loves to cook at home. And he's inspired me to want to be better for myself. And I think it's just so important, who you surround yourself with, everything that you do, not even just food, but food especially.
No, I love it. You're so right. I mean, there's different axioms along the way that I've learned. In business, they call it proximity to power. If you're in the business world and you surround yourself with a bunch of knuckleheads, you want to be proximate to power. You want to be the dumbest guy in the room. You want to be the guy that's around all the big badasses because that proximity to power is going to bleed off onto you. And we had a phrase in our home, Kid. I know you know it well. If you want to soar with eagles, don't fly around with a bunch of crows. I mean, that's how superior athletes, that's how superior people in general conduct themselves. If you want to be a superior parent, if you want to be a superior friend, colleague, if you want to be in super good health, surrounding yourself with people that aspire to do the same things as you just said, Meg, it makes it so much easier because not only is it easier because you're surrounded by no bad habits are permeating that circle of trust and love, but you've also got people to vent to when you do want to do something bad, like eat 15 Snickers bars or 15 gallons of ice cream instead of a pint. So it's really a kind of a safety net too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate your time today. It really has been super informative. I think what we can take away from this is, again, going back to daily life for folks, people's lives, the level of stress, what we're faced with in this country, socially, economically, it is so daunting that all roads sometimes lead to the bad habits because it's comforting, it's easy, it's quick. There's propaganda out there that's supporting it, so it's justifiable. And I think even though you guys are super athletes, I think what you've given here is a bit of normalcy to what could really be going on. Simple premises. Cook at home, give the day a little bit of thought to account for when you can eat and make sure that you're not jumping for the chips, you're jumping for a banana, and really just understand that it's a kind of a pattern, a set of patterns and habits that become this lifestyle. I think anybody can do that. You guys are best tennis players in the country, right? Meg, you're going pro. So, I mean, it's easy to see you two at your level and say, well, they're super athletes. I don't fucking need that. That's actually not what we're saying here. What we're saying here is it's just fundamental little principles that anybody can do. It's not hard. And all of a sudden, you are your super self, which is really what we espouse in the SuperSelf podcast series. So I appreciate your insight today. It's been super informative. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having y'all on again if you want to at some point.
Oh, of course, we'll be back.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay, everyone. That brings to a close another episode of the SuperSelf podcast series brought to you by Jaca Rare Sugar. Here, we're going to be helping you discover the truth for all things that surround good health and well-being. We'll be offering you statistical data, clinical trial information that has been evaluated and corroborated so that you can see for yourself that we say what we mean and we mean what we say. Now, while the SuperSelf series is brought to you technically by Jaca Rare Sugar, I don't care if you buy the sugar. I really don't. That's not what this is about. This is about operating as the conscience across the food and beverage industry, across the health and well-being industry, which includes supplements, fitness trainers, and the like. Our goal is to provide you with the stepping stones for your own research, where you can go out and corroborate the things that we say on your own. See for yourself what it means to find a good quality of life that fits in alongside your current lifestyle or your family's lifestyle. I think it's really going to be interesting and fascinating if we take this journey together. And once again, our goal is not just to provide you with data, but to keep it interesting. I've been living a clean lifestyle for 40 years now. I've been going to the gym for almost 45 years, eating clean for 40 years. And so we're going to have a ton of stories along the way about the foibles, the successes, and the failures, but we're also going to provide you with the information that you need to carry on and carry forward. Think about subscribing. We'd love it if you subscribe to us, pass this on to your friends. I think we've got a lot of edgy and interesting podcasts that are upcoming, and we certainly will look forward to any feedback that you want to provide. Until next time, cheers.